So what is a sub-MC? Sub-MC, the full name is subsidiary management corporation. Subsidiary means secondary tau, secondary. So it means that it is second to something else. It is second to the management corporation. So management corporation needs to be formed first before you can form the sub-MC. Okay, our system is different from the Singapore system, even though we sort of borrow this concept of sub-MC from Singapore, because sub-MC can be established from day one. They can plan to have a management corporation and sub-MC from day one. Okay, daripada awal lagi they can plan the piping, the wiring, the cables for each of the different components to just be within that particular component. Kalau retail, the wiring semua all within the retail punya component, so that there'll be no dispute later on whether on the common property. Cabling tu, the duct tu semua can be common property as well. So to avoid the problem, they design the mixed development from day one to have separate or to have kind of clearly demarcated limited common properties, supaya tak berlaku lah nanti later on disputes. But not in the case of Malaysia. Malaysia, you need to have the MC first, establish the MC, reach the 25%, establish the MC, and then go through all these processes to establish the sub-MC. What are the processes in it? This is what we're going to learn today. Okay, sub-MC, yeah. Now we have to understand first how it comes about before we can learn how to establish the sub-MC. Okay. Now you imagine a mixed development like this diagram. So you have there the yellow. Normally, colored yellow is the common property. Common property in any plans, maybe it the strata plan or whatever. The common property is colored yellow. Okay. So in this case, you have already established the MC. MC is in charge of managing and maintaining the common property. So in this particular mixed strata development, you have 4 different users. You have the apartment block, you have retail, you have office, you have hotel. Of course, this particular mixed strata is very simplified for you. It's just the concept saja. We want to understand the concept first. Okay. Now we see there 4 separate users. You have the apartment, residential, you have retail, commercial, you have office, commercial, you have hotel, commercial. Okay, so for the apartment, for the residential user, you have there servicing the apartment 2 lifts, and also for the buyers there, for the occupants there, they have the benefit of using the swimming pool. Okay, swimming pool attached together with the apartment. Okay, for the retail, you have 2 lifts. For the office, because of the volume of the number of workers and number of visitors, they require more lifts. So for the office, 4 lifts. 4 lifts. 4 lifts. Okay, and this is important because lifts, swimming pools, okay, what we call apa dia? Anyone can tell me? Lifts, swimming pools fall under what? Come again? Say again.
Common property.
Correct. Common property come under this. Lift, swimming pool come under the category of common property, including also land, corridor, stairs, fire staircase. What else? The banister. So the what do you call it? The exterior of the building, kan? Because remember the definition of wall. Sorry, the boundary. What we talked in lecture 5, if I'm not mistaken, boundary. Half, the one within the parcel belongs to the owner, the other half facing the outside belongs to everybody, belongs to MC, kan, to everybody. So we see here, each of the users, they have their own common property. So once we designate tu maknanya kita do the demarcation, the boundary demarcation of the limited common properties. Once we agree in the general meeting that these are the limited common property, then we have limited common properties. So before we have the MC, these common properties are simply common properties owned by everybody and must be maintained by the MC on the left hand side. left-hand side. Okay. Once we have designated that these common properties belong to these users, for instance, the 2 lifts and the swimming pools are the limited common properties belonging to the apartment. The 2 lifts in the retail belong to the retail. 2 lifts, yeah. The 2 lifts in the office belongs to the office user. The 4 lifts in the hotel plus the swimming pool belong to the hotel. Once we designate, once we have filed the limited common property punya ini punya apa nama tu designation, and we have gone through all the procedures that we will learn today, then we will have 4 sub-MCs. 4 sub-MC together with the MC again on the right. We see the diagram on the right. We will illustrate the effect after the establishment of the sub-MC, which is we still have the MC because the MC still has to take care of the common property, which is normally the land, the road on the land, the service road on the land, what else? The corridors on the land, the wires on the land, the cables on the land, the ducts on the land, semua yang ada on the common property tu perlu di-maintain, perlu disenggara dan diuruskan oleh management corporation. Still have to be managed and maintained by the management committee because this common property is owned, can be used by all these users, by the apartment users, by the retail users, office users and hotel users. Okay, but once the limited common properties have been designated, this will exclude other users from using the limited common property. For instance, for the apartment here, you have the 2 lifts and the swimming pool. The 2 lifts and the swimming pools within the apartment now cannot be used by the retail users, office users and hotel users. Similarly, for all the limited common properties for all other users. Hopefully that is clear. Okay, which is first, we will have this situation whereby you have the MC taking care of the common property. In this case, since the different common properties within the different users have not been designated yet, these are also known as common properties. The lifts, the swimming pools, also known as common properties and have to be taken care of by the management corporation. They have to be maintained and managed by the management corporation. Means that the cost of maintaining and managing the 2 lifts, the swimming pool here and 2 lifts under retail, 4 lifts under office, 4 lifts and swimming pool under hotel will have to be borne by everybody. So is this fair? Because for the apartment, they only use the 2 lifts and swimming pool. Okay, but for the hotel, they use more. They use 2 more lifts plus the swimming pool, right? But for the retail, they only use 2 lifts there. They are not allowed to use the other lifts or the swimming pools in the apartment and the swimming pool in the hotel. So of course it's not fair for them to have to bear the cost of maintenance and management of other common properties in other users punya blocks kan. So that's why the sub-MC is established. To give them, to allow limited common properties to be created. We call it created. The correct term is to be designated. To be designated. And later on, for the sub-MCs to take care of their own limited common properties. So meaning they have to collect their own service charge. For instance, for the apartment, okay, they have to collect the service charge and also sinking fund for the 2 lifts plus the swimming pool, additional charge. On top of the MC billing the apartment users for the common property punya service charge. Because the service road, the corridors, the electricity to light the staircase, for instance, those all have to be borne, have to be paid by everybody. So it means for every month, the apartment users, they have to pay two things, two bills or 2 invoices. One is the service charge from the MC pertaining to the management and maintenance of the common property. The second one, the second invoice comes from the sub-MC, the apartment sub-MC, billing the apartment users for the management and maintenance of the 2 lifts and the swimming pool. What are the associated costs with the 2 lifts and swimming pool? The electricity, for instance, the PPM, the planned plan and preventive maintenance that has to be undertaken kan. So you have the lift punya guys coming over to do checks and things like that. So you have to pay the lift company kan. Swimming pool, the cleaning of the swimming pool, for instance. If there's a safe what do you call a guard, what do you call that? A lifeguard. You have to pay for the salary of the lifeguard, for instance. So all these costs associated with the 2 lifts and the swimming pool have to be borne by the apartment users. So that's why they receive 2. Same thing with the retail sub-MC. The users of the retail now, they have to pay 1 invoice which comes from the retail sub-MC pertaining to the 2 lifts. Okay, plus another invoice coming from the MC pertaining to the common property. Invoice pertaining to what? Pertaining to the maintenance and management. Okay, maintenance and management for the repairs, for the utility, and so on. Okay, kos nak sapu ke, kos nak bersihkan the limited common property and things like that. Same thing with office and same also with hotel. Okay, so what do we learn from this diagram so far? We learn that there needs to be MC before sub-MC can be created. We also learn that the limited common properties need to be designated, needs to be clearly demarcated. Demarcated means perlu ditandakan supaya tak berlaku overlap dengan di antara common property dengan limited common property. Itu demarcation or designation. Number 3 is we learn that for each sub-MC, they have to take care of their own limited common property. Take care in this sense means the maintenance and the management. In maintenance management, tadi I cakap the cost of cleaning, the cost of utility. For instance, the swimming pool ada lifeguard, you have to pay for the salary of the lifeguard. If you have to employ cleaners in the swimming pool area, the salary of the cleaner or the cleaners. If you have for the lifts, you have what do you call it, CCTV, the cost of maintaining the CCTV in the lifts, for instance. So same juga for all other sub-MCs. Each of the users, they have to take care of their own limited common properties. So at the end of the day, this system will be fairer, will be more adil lah. Because now you only pay for what you use. Betul kan? Fair. Kedua, it's more practical because you only use the limited common properties that is relevant to your needs. Because now you see that retail and also office, they don't need the swimming pool, so they don't use lah. Okay. Don't use, don't pay. Okay, now we learn about the important definitions. Important definitions related to sub-MC. We are going to learn about limited common property, exclusive benefit, and also sub-MC. 3 definitions. Now we begin with limited common property. What is the definition? LCP is designated by comprehensive resolution. Designated, diluluskan, mesti ditandakan, mesti diwar-warkan, mesti dikreatkan by way of comprehensive resolution. And we have learned this before, comprehensive resolution during the AGM or EGM, di dalam general meeting. Okay, before the resolutions become resolution, they are motions. Motion tu maknanya usul. Bila usul diputuskan, dia menjadi satu keputusan. Resolution is keputusan. Okay, passed by the MC. Again, I ask you, who is the MC? MC is everybody. MC is all the proprietors. Okay, here MC tu refers kepada management corporation, not the management committee. Okay, passed by the MC means passed by everybody. Not everybody lah. Comprehensive resolution needs only 2/3 kan, 2/3 of the votes, and then ada certain dates, by certain dates. So comprehensive resolution cuma perlukan 2/3 of the votes. Yeah. Then in a special plan designating such parts or the common property. So designated by way of in a plan. Ditunjukkan, designated tu ditunjuk di mana? Ditunjukkan dalam special plan, in a special plan, SP. Designating such parts or the common property, yang menunjukkan bahagian atau mana-mana bahagian atau apa-apa saja harta bersama. Common property can be translated into harta bersama. For the exclusive benefit of the proprietors, untuk benefit untuk nama ini exclusive benefit ialah kegunaan eksklusif kegunaan, not very sure the BM, but exclusive benefit of the proprietors of 2 or more parcels. Dia mesti 2 or more parcels. It cannot be only 1 parcel, 2 or more, at least 2 parcels yang enjoy that particular common property or part of the common property. Okay, but not all the parcels in the development area. If all the parcel owners enjoy the common property, you cannot designate that as limited common property. That is still common property. So you must, nama pun limited means you have to limit the usage, the exclusive benefit to a certain numbers. Okay, a certain numbers of parcel owners, which the certain numbers tu must be 2 or more. Dia tak boleh 1, dia 2 or more, but not all. Tu maksud dia. If it's all, then it cannot be limited. It is still common property. So 2 or more, but not all parcel owners. Yeah. So now what's the definition of exclusive benefit? Exclusive benefit includes, dia termasuk but not limited to the exclusive use or enjoyment, kegunaan penikmatan of and rights to contributions and earnings, hak kepada sebarang sumbangan ataupun pendapatan in respect of the LCP. We will come to the earnings later on, after this. But excludes any proprietary interest, tetapi tidak termasuk sebarang kepentingan pempunyaan. Means it gives the proprietors yang enjoy the exclusive benefit itu hak kegunaan, hak penikmatan. This one yang eksklusif. You can exclude the other owners. Only the owners within the LCP tu, only the users within the LCP can use that particular limited common property or enjoy that particular limited common property. For instance, the swimming pool just now can only be enjoyed by the apartment. Yang satu tu kan, the other swimming pool tu by the hotel punya visitors. And rights to contributions ini, kalau ada any sumbangan kepada limited common property yang you can trace to the limited common property, or earnings, pendapatan that you can trace directly to the limited common property area. For instance, you have designated the retail just now, they have designated 2 lifts kan, 2 lifts as their limited common property. So 2 lifts tu together with the lobby lah as the limited common property area. Now, what if they allow advertisers to put their billboard, to put their electronic punya billboard di situ untuk iklan kan, dia allow, ataupun dia letak saja billboard tu dan dia allow retailers to advertise, kenakan charge 50,000 per month, for instance, a very big punya LCD kan, LCD punya monitor, very big one near the lift lobby, 50,000 per month. The money, the earnings just now goes only to the retail users. It will not go to the residential users. It will not go to the hotel users. It will not go to the office users. Okay, so it goes directly to where to who owns the limited common property. Not own, salah tak boleh guna own. Who enjoys the limited common property. The reason why I corrected myself just now, you cannot say you own the limited common property because it's the last one, excludes any proprietary interest. You tak own the lift, you tak own the lobby, you don't own it, you just have the right to use sahaja. Right, having the right to use and owning something are 2 different things. Owning something is what we call proprietary interest. Proprietary tu maknanya proprietor milik lah, hak pemilikan. You tak ada sebarang hak pemilikan. You cuma ada rights. Cuma ada hak untuk enjoy, hak penikmatan, hak penggunaan. Itu saja. Okay, is that clear? Somebody is asking a question. Okay, wait. See what the person done. Itu je. Not asking any question, yeah? I thought somebody's asking a question. Ada orang kat tangan? Anybody raising their hand? Also cannot. Mini, are you raising your hand? No. Mini tu. Okay, silap tekan. Okay. Wrongly, huh? Okay, anyway. If you have any question, you can ask. I'm not stopping you. But I just want to know, I just need to know who is asking the question. Anyway, go back to just now. Two different things, okay? Owning something and receiving income. Receiving income because you have the right to use, the exclusive right to use, the exclusive enjoyment. Kita panggil penikmatan. Use is kegunaan, enjoyment is penikmatan. Okay, exclusive use. So the exclusive use, the second bullet, is not the same as ownership right. Ownership right is proprietary interest. So bila you tak ada ownership right, that means that the LCP itu still belongs, kalau kita cakap pasal ownership, it still belongs to the development, to the MC, kan, pada semua orang. Tetapi hak dia tu, once you have the right, you can exclude others from using. Okay, because we learned before that real estate is about a bundle of rights, betul? Bundle of rights. So on one land you may have different rights. So this is a good situation to explain. This is a good example where the statement real estate is a bundle of rights come in. Itulah to illustrate the saying that real estate is concerns a bundle of rights. Okay, satu tanah tetapi you have many different interests. So in this particular case, the LCP, the limited common property, only gives exclusive use or enjoyment of the limited common property to the sub-MC, to the owners within that particular user sahaja. Dia tak bagi proprietary interest. Hak milik tidak diberi. Okay. Now the third definition, sub-MC. Sub-MC is the anak MC. Okay, you must have the MC first, then only you can create the sub-MC. Sub-MC is created when, bila dia establish the point tu, the tarikh lahir tu is when a certificate is issued. Okay, certificate is issued by the director of PTG, Lands and Mines. So what is in the certificate? Certifying that the sub-MC whose parcel proprietors have the exclusive benefit just now, benefit of the LCP has been constituted under section 17A of Strata Titles Act. Okay, so that means that the establishment equals the certificate of birth, the certificate under section 17A. Permohonan untuk create sub-MC is governed by section 17A. A capital, not A small. Okay, A capital because it's a provision that was added later. Kemudian, so that's why it's A capital, but at the back of 17, yeah. Okay, hopefully that's clear. Now, what does section 17 SMA says? SMA ke STA? SMA and STA same, because you remember I said before, the good thing about MC and sub-MC for in fact is they use the section 17 in both STA and SMA. So it doesn't matter whether it's you tulis STA pun betul, STA 1985 or SMA 2013, it's still correct, yeah. The MC may designate LCP. Designate again, remember this word, do not use other words. Designate, boleh designate LCP. MC may designate LCP and create one or more sub-MCs. Dia boleh designate ni macam mencalonkan lah, macam tu, boleh mencalonkan, boleh propose, designate boleh propose dahulu, designate boleh mencadangkan. The MC may designate LCP and create one or more sub-MCs only for the purpose of representing the different interests of parcel proprietors by way of comprehensive resolution. Under comprehensive resolution sahaja boleh barulah sub-MC boleh create, okay, conducted under the SMA 2013. Okay, now trick question. If you have one user, can you create a sub-MC? One user only. Boleh tak?
Cannot.
Cannot. Kenapa cannot? Why cannot? Anyone else? Yes. Betul jawapan tu. Bukan cannot lah. Okay.
Sebab kena ada 2 or more proprietors.
Proprietors. Tapi kalau satu user pun ada 2. Satu use maknanya apartment pun ada 2 or more proprietors. Faham tak? Macam mana tu? Macam mana tu? Dia tak ada kan, dia tak cakap interest in possible proprietor. So say you have one apartment. Okay, 500 users. No, banyak sangat tu kan, over. 200 proprietors in one block. And then you have a swimming pool. Okay, and then you say this swimming pool during a GM you want to propose. This swimming pool can only be used by parcel owners from floor 1 until floor 5. Floor 6 until 10 cannot use. And then all agree in the AGM. Setujulah sebab siapa yang guna saja kena bayar. Faham tak? So what is your answer now? Because it says proprietors tak, bukan user. Kan? Again, look at the definition of mana tadi ni? Use, enjoyment, this one, the LCP, for the exclusive benefit of the proprietors. Bukan dia kata exclusive benefit of the user. User means the office and also that is the meaning of use. Kan? So technically can, boleh. Okay, boleh. So by trick question just now, kena balik-balik and look at the definition. Technically can, boleh buat. Tapi tak buat lah, why? Boleh buat tetapi tak buat macam tu. One use only but you don't do the sub-MC, why not? Because it's very hard, kan? Nak tanya you daripada blok mana you, it's very hard then to enforce. And another thing is you want to maintain the value of the whole of the ni lah. So if you give access to everybody, then you can maintain the demand of the property. Can be done technically. Okay. So after this, maybe siapa nak challenge, I can give your argument and we can discuss further. But in my opinion, sub-MC can be created for a single use development even, but it's not practical. So that's the trick lah. Can be done, but it's not practical. Okay, now, and the purpose of creating sub-MC is to facilitate the management maintenance, bukan nak menyusahkan lagi. Okay. Now, procedure to establish sub-MC. Now, the procedure 10 steps. 10. Okay, the first one, MC passes a normal resolution to make payment for land surveyor. Because ini bukan comprehensive resolution lagi. We start off with a normal resolution to appoint and also to make payment for land surveyor. MC here refers to the management corporation. Semua sekali comes to a general meeting. It can be during the AGM or it can be an EGM, extraordinary general meeting. But you come there with a motion untuk melantik seorang to appoint a land surveyor. To start the ball rolling. The land surveyor is needed to demarcate. Untuk demarcate means to identify the boundaries. Dia bukan kerja yang senang ya untuk demarcate ataupun to mark the boundaries of the limited common property, because you need to tahu mana titik tengah walls, for instance. You need to know the wiring, for instance. Itu semua land surveyor punya kerja. Dia kena tahu di mana exactly the boundary between the proposed limited common property and also the common property secara amnya. Okay, so they have to make the boundaries. So they have to create the boundaries between the limited common property, the proposed limited common property, and the rest of the development. Okay, so must pass a normal resolution to make payment for land surveyor and also to appoint lah the land surveyor. Now, cost untuk land surveyor sangat tinggi, okay. That's why they have to go through the MC tu, kena pergi satu mesyuarat, pass a normal resolution, make payment for land surveyor. Can go to tens of thousands, and can go up to hundreds of thousands, okay. Land surveyor kawan kita dah kaya sekarang. Now next, the management committee. Just now the MC, everybody. So this refers pada semua orang mesti setuju bahawa kita nak lantik land surveyor. The next step would be the management committee appoints a land surveyor. Yang committee 3 to 14 just now, okay, 14 orang tu, the committee that undertakes the daily operations, they sit down, they discuss among them who the best land surveyor is. Maybe a land surveyor that has had experience before doing survey for sub-MC. Dia akan panggil lah, dia akan appoint to prepare special plans. We call it special plans containing the details of the boundaries of the limited common property and parcels that have the exclusive benefit over it. So satu, the boundaries of the limited common property, and also identify, put on the SP, the special plan, the parcels that can use the exclusive benefit just now, the definition of exclusive benefit, which is satu, the exclusive right, exclusive use and also enjoyment of the limited common property, and also receive the contribution of income kan, or earnings from the limited common property. Anyway, so they identify the boundaries and also who, the parcels, the proprietors, the parcels that can be associated with the limited common property. Third step, upon completion of the special plan, Management Committee will give 30-day notice with proposed resolution to create sub-MC. Management Committee will call for a meeting, EGM, Extraordinary General Meeting, EGM. 30-day notice must be given with proposed resolution just now. Proposed resolution, in other words, motion, the motion to create sub-MC. Okay, kenapa 30-day notice? Because this falls under apa resolution? What type of resolution? Tan Si Huat?
I don't remember, sorry.
Remember, Desi, what kind of resolution?
Sama tu tak ingat.
Saya baru sebut tadi. Okay, last call. Albi. Albi. What kind of resolution? Say again?
Comprehensive
comprehensive resolution. Dia tadi sebut no other resolution. So sekarang ini we are now talking about comprehensive resolution. That's why 30-day notice. That's why kena ada EGM lagi. Okay. So the MC Management Committee is getting ready to conduct an EGM to put forth ataupun to bentangkan the motion, the proposed resolution to create the sub-MC. So this is a big thing. This is a big thing. That's why 30 days notice is given to get as many proprietors as possible on that day. Dia akan email, dia akan contact, dia akan letak flyers under the floors to remind the owners to come on this date to vote on the resolution, on the proposed resolution to create sub-MC, because they need to get the how many, the 2/3 of votes. Selagi mana tak dapat 2/3 of votes, there will not be a comprehensive resolution. So that's why 30 days notice. Then again, why 30-day notice? Some of the owners do not live in Malaysia ataupun cannot do not live in that particular building. The tenants may live there, so they need time to contact the owners, to trace the owners and things like that lah. And for owners to make arrangements to attend the meeting, the EGM. Then finally, after 30 days, convene the GM, the EGM here. Jalankan mesyuarat agung tu. Convene not mesyuarat agung, mesyuarat agung, and voting after the GM. Voting during the GM itself, the voting starts. So the ball starts rolling for 60 days after the date of the GM untuk to collect the 2/3 of the votes. If valid votes amount to at least 2/3 of the aggregate share units after 60 days, a comprehensive resolution will be passed. So ini penting. Valid votes so means siapa yang boleh vote? Siapa yang boleh vote? Who can vote? Simple answer is, siapa yang boleh vote? Ialah proprietor. Tetapi proprietor yang macam mana? What kind of proprietor can vote? Proprietor yang tak ada hutang. Good, dia tak ada hutang. Defaulters tidak valid vote-nya. Dia tak ada hutang. So valid votes amount to at least 2/3 of aggregate share units after 60 days, barulah ada comprehensive resolution. You get that comprehensive resolution, then only you can do the next step, which is file the comprehensive resolution. Comprehensive resolution tu bentuk dokumen saja, minit kan, cadangan. Tadi tu cadangan, the proposal to create a sub-MC, but you need to vote on that. How to get it passed? You need to get 2/3 of the aggregate share units of the owners of the, you need to get 2/3 of the owners of the aggregate share units to agree to the proposal to create the sub-MC. Kemudian barulah you file, you pass the comprehensive motion menjadi comprehensive resolution, and then you file with a COB within 28 days of the passing just now. File the COB. COB is, where can you find the COB? Hani, where can you find the COB? Pejabat mana you pergi? Syami? Syami? Where can you find the COB? Which office? Which government agency? COB ada di mana ya? Anybody wants to answer?
Local government.
Good. Local authority. Local boleh lah. The PBT kita panggil dalam BM. PBT. PBT is the local authority. Okay. Then the management committee applies to director of PTG, director of land and mines. Akan gunakan satu orang untuk create the sub-MC. Just now, Director of Lands and Mines, pengarah PTG akan refer kepada Director of Survey. Ini survey sekarang memainkan peranan in strata developments. Okay, Director of Lands and Mines refer to Director of Survey because the PTG needs to be very careful about the demarcation, about the boundary just now. Director of Survey kalau luluskan, dia kata tiada implication, wiring semua okey, boundary semua betul tadi, then Director of Survey will give adequate feedback, setuju ke tak setuju, kena betul ke ini, kena betul ke ini, ataupun the boundaries mark were not correct, have to ni patah balik lah. But if the feedback is positive, then the Director of Lands and Mines will issue this certificate under section 17A for the establishment of the sub-MC. Lahirlah sub-MC. It looks very clear-cut kan, but in reality, only one sub-MC has been established so far because of the kerumitan. It looks clean, ada 10 step, but actually is very, very tedious. Why? Nanti akan tengok esok the case study of Mount Kiara. Okay, now, these 10 steps, can be shown in this diagram clearly, I say lah. First of all, you need to create, first of all, the MC needs to be established. MC needs to be established before you can form the sub-MC. Okay, but once we have the sub-MC, now bila ramai proprietor sudah ada, dah cukup more than 25% of the aggregate share units, they sat down, they had an AGM, and then they decided that it will be more fair to create sub-MC so that each of the users, maknanya the retail users take care of their own LCP, the office user take care of their own LCP, the apartment users, they take care of their own LCP and things like that. They agree on that. They will have the first EGM, general meeting pertama tu, the first EGM. Here is to approve the appointment of licensed land surveyor and property management consultant, and also to raise fund. Dia kena bayar tau, the land surveyor just now, and it's not just any amount. That's why I think the Mount Kiara punya case, nanti later on tomorrow I will try to recall how many years, about 4-5 years. The MC more than that, and they were in existence, they collected enough money, then only they proceeded with the appointment of the licensed land surveyor because it's expensive, sangat mahal. Kena raise fund dahulu, sama ada wait a few years down the line and then have the EGM, the first EGM to start the ball rolling for the sub-MC formation, or from the onset decide to charge tinggi. Terus saja dia kata we need to raise 200,000 this year, so you need to pay 2,000 per month, something like that lah, from the beginning, from the onset, to raise the fund, to pay for the licensed land surveyor and also the property management consultant. Siapakah property management consultant ni? Kita lah. Later on, once you become a registered valuer, you will get a portion of the pie. You akan dibayar satu amount yang sangat banyak. Okay, but less than the land surveyor. Still lah, can make money out of it. Okay, now after the first EGM, you approve the appointment of the licensed land surveyor. You appointed the licensed land surveyor. The land surveyor will do their survey lah. They will demarcate. Demarcate means dia akan identify the boundaries on the special plan, can come up with a draft special plan by the land surveyors. And the draft special plan by the land surveyors must be agreed by all. So you need to conduct another EGM to obtain feedback on the draft SP. So if everybody agrees, and then to confirm the number of sub-MCs based on the draft SP, draft special plan by the land surveyor just now, you need 2 only. A sub-MC, or you need 3 sub-MC, or you need 1 sub-MC for each of the user in the example that I gave you, the slide number 1 just now. So 4 sub-MCs in that particular case. Okay. Now, finally, after the EGM, final SP, because the land surveyors now, they receive the feedback from the MC, they will do a final, or they will draft a final special plan. Okay. And another EGM will be conducted. This one, the 60-day notice the 30-day notice to conduct the general meeting, the 3rd EGM, to approve comprehensive resolution. That's the agenda. To approve the comprehensive resolution. So the motion only lah. Pada masa ini, the motion ialah to create sub-MCs, whether 1 or 2 or 3 or 2, 3 or 4, whatever. Yeah. Then 60 days will be given for votes to come in. Okay, because as I said earlier, some of the owners may not live in Malaysia. Okay, so these proprietors must be given enough time to deliberate and to vote. Then once you receive the 2/3 of the votes, certificate of poll result will be prepared mengatakan lebih daripada 23 ataupun berapa lah, daripada unit ni setuju, and then you total up, you manage to get 75% of the aggregate share unit owners agreeing on the motion. Sudah jadi comprehensive resolution. Then go to the COB and file the certificate. The certificate of poll results just now. File the comprehensive resolution at the COB. You obtain a certificate of receipt just now. Bila dah submit the comprehensive resolution at the COB, you will receive a receipt from the COB lah, menyatakan dia dah dapat, dia dah simpan that comprehensive resolution at the COB. Then what happens then ialah you make the application to PTG, Director of PTG. But Director of PTG needs to have feedback from the Director of JUPAM. Then JUPAM pun check lah the special plan just now, check, and then come back with their feedback. If they are positive, then 30 days will be given for the FAGM. FAGM of sub-MCs. Then create lah the sub-MC. Kenapa untuk adakan FAGM ni? For them to appoint the sub-management committees, which is minimum 3 just now. And in the sub-MC, 1 representative from the MC must be appointed. Faham? So maknanya, from the original MC just now, if you have 10 proprietors or 10 members, 1 of the 10 members need to sit in the sub-MC di sini. Okay, mesti ada wakil daripada MC, supaya dia boleh report kepada mak dia, kepada MC lah. Okay, then finally 30 days will be given for the handover, whereby the MC hands over the LCPs to the sub-MCs. Handover just now, what's the meaning? We've learned this before. The submission of documents, the building plans, kalau relevant, the quick run tak ada, quick run semua orang sebab atas tanah. The M&E plans, the building plans, the certificate of a copy of certificate of poll, for instance, and so on. All the documents have to be handed over. Plus, if there's any money, then put the money from the sinking fund account and also management account, okay, maintenance account, to be given that particular portion. Kalau boleh di-apportionatekan, portion tersebut diberi kepada sub-MC. Then sub-MC will govern, will take care of the LCPs. Management now is by both MC for the common property and also sub-MCs for the limited common properties. So you have two management bodies at once. Okay. Now advantages. What are the advantages? Sub-MC has independent control. Dia boleh berdikari management and maintenance of its own LCP and the services therein. They can directly control the management and maintenance of its own LCP. The second advantage is the sub-MC has its own independent sub-MC committee just now yang dilantik during the FAGM of the sub-MC. Okay, so means they don't have to be dictated by the MC, because MC may have different agenda or different interests. Sub-MC wants to take care of their own block, of their own users. The MC just now may not be represented by people from that particular user. So sometimes it's not fair for that particular user just now. So now they have their own independent sub-management committee to govern, to make decisions, to manage, to govern effectively, to govern that particular use lah. Kalau office lah, kalau retail lah. Sub-MC has full control of its own funds. This is good. Under its own independent maintenance account and sinking fund account. Okay. So one thing that we didn't discuss just now is when you have 4 users, what if the 4 users in the same mixed strata development, okay, you don't have you don't have sub-MCs yet. So now all the resources are being pooled, dikumpulkan dan dijaga untuk semua orang kan. What if a large number of defaulters come from the apartment, but a high payment rate comes from the commercial punya component? Katakan 90% payment from the retail, 95% from the office, 80% from the other one lah, hotel kan. Yang lain semua bayar, tetapi the apartment cuma bayar 50% saja. But all the pooled money akan digunakan untuk jaga the common property. So it's not fair to all other users when their users pay high kan. The apartment user, the residential just now, ada ramai defaulters tapi being cross subsidized. Faham tak? User lain tanggung lah orang kata, cross subsidized the residential users yang culas bayar, yang ramai defaulters just now. So it's not fair to them. That's why it's better to have sub-MC, because sub-MC has full control of his own funds. Dia boleh guna sendiri, dia boleh kutip sendiri, collect their own service charge and also sinking fund, and also they decide how to use their own maintenance account and also their sinking fund account, independent of other users. And number 4, sub-MC has its own independent operating budget and capex for its own LCP. Bagus too, because they can decide what's best for their own LCP rather than depending on the MC that may not be sympathetic. MC tu mungkin dia pukul rata saja, mungkin dia tak dia tak faham kan the other users punya requirements. And number 5, the sub-MC has its own independent additional bylaws. Mana yang sesuai, for instance, the apartment user just now, they need more bylaws, maybe the voice control kan, noise control during weekends and also during nights kan. So they may add that to their bylaws, but for other users they don't really care about additional voices, so additional noises. So that's why it's good to have sub-MC, because they can control their own bylaws, add to their bylaws or retract, buang certain bylaws yang tak relevant. Number 6, sub-MC can independently seek redress actions from COB or Strata Management Tribunal without reference to the MC, because now they are an an independent body. Dia sendiri boleh menyaman dan disaman. So without going to this MC, dia boleh sendiri pergi ke court ataupun SMT tanpa perlu melalui MC. Sub-MC is entitled to any third-party income arising from its own LCP. I gave you the example just now, the billboard, ada LCD punya display, you can charge and then they can get their own income from it. Okay, sub-MC can have its own independent general meeting and committee meeting. Don't have to wait for the MC to call for meeting, then only they voice out their dissatisfactions and things like that. Finally, sub-MC is insulated from the liabilities of other sub-MCs. In some cases, it's better to have your own, to be an independent entity, tidak tertakluk kepada sub-MC lain yang mungkin ada liability. Contohnya liability negligence kan, negligence in the apartment punya user. Okay, berlaku negligence di situ, ada orang sudah saman sub-MC di situ which tidak berkaitan dengan sub-MC lain. You don't have to pay using your money. Sebarang liability tu that particular sub-MC lah yang akan tanggung. Faham tak? So the other sub-MCs insulated, don't have to go through the same liability ataupun same legal punya problems. Okay, this is example of sub-MC and limited common properties. This is example of schedule of sub-MCs and limited common properties. Ini jadual tadi tu. The special plan, then they will come up with a schedule of sub-MC and limited common properties. You can see there the different columns, jadual subsidiary, perbadanan pengurusan, sub-PP dia panggil. In BM, it's sub-PP, sub perbadanan pengurusan. Okay, MC is perbadanan pengurusan kan. Harta bersama is common property. Harta bersama is common property. Limited common property ialah harta bersama terhad. Bukan berhad, terhad. Harta bersama terhad. Okay, so you have the 3 sub-MCs, okay, comprising the retail center, office and also hotel. Mana location dia, unit apa, podium apa. Podium, menara, menara A, menara B. So menara A you have, menara A. Menara 1. Menara A, menara 1 is office. The podium itself is the complex. Podium. Kerana menara A is the pejabat. Menara A is M1 ni. Okay. Menara B is hotel. Okay. And then all the petaks, all the parcels located within the different users, share units, their own share units, the percentage of share units and all other information. Okay. This also shows the same thing. Master MC, you have one MC and then you have different sub-MCs. So in this case, you have 4 sub-MCs. Sub-MC 1, 2, 3, 4. All the sub-MCs being color-coded.